And let's say when it comes to fortune, it has not been keen on the Beckham family because we now have the most pathetic meltdown from Brooklyn Beckham. We knew this started, rocky back in the day. I covered his marriage to Nicola Peltz, the daughter of Nelson Peltz, this billionaire who at some point tried to be in the chair of Disney and failed. And now Brooklyn is basically saying goodbye. He cannot stand his family anymore, and there are all sorts of reactions about this, and we need to address this to see what is really going on. I found this interesting, especially because of the drama and gossip, and boy, do people really love this. My wife and I do not want a life shaped by image, press, or manipulation. All we want is peace, privacy, and happiness for us and our future family. Boy, he's surely, don't call me Shirley, surely sounds like Prince Harry. It surely sounds like Harry. Sounds exactly like Harry. No difference. Brooklyn Beckham speaks out against parents Victoria and David Beckham. I do not want to reconcile with my family. That is pathetic. That's why this is peak feminine polarity gone bad. I mean, you know that both men and women, we have masculine and feminine polarity. We need to know how to use both of them. This is feminine polarity off the rails in the worst way possible. I mean, this is unchecked polarity that it is the worst that he could have done. I am not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life. If you were not controlled, you wouldn't have the need to say that. If you are in control of your life, if you for the first time you are free, you're happy, you are content with yourself, you are looking at the future with, with bright eyes, with this spark in your pupils. But no, you have to whine on Instagram about that. I'm sure that you're not as happy and content and free as you claim to be, because precisely we're finding out about this. How come I know about this? Why me, of any people, have nothing to do with gossip most of the time? I'm finding out about this because he went to Instagram and began a rant on his reels. Yeah, that is, I don't know. There's a word for that. I don't know what to say that. It's too early. It's too early. My parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped. As Margie says, Nicola wrote that. This parallels. I mean, I have this deja vu. This is Meghan. They are speed running, Meghan and Harry. We are living. This is 2018, 2019 all over again. What is going on? I have been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Again, this is not how a man talks. This is not how a man talks. Unfortunately, my parents and their team have continued to go to the press, leaving me with no choice but to speak for myself and tell the truth about only some of the lies that have been printed. Why would his parents do this? I don't know. I do not want to reconcile with my family. I am not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life. You know that it sounds like a woman speaking? I mean, no offense to women, but this sounds like a lady. So I want to emancipate from this. It sounds like a lady when finally has an abusive husband, and she can finally stand for herself, and she will not tolerate the abuse anymore, and she gets a divorce, and she is free at last. That sounds like it. That sounds like it. Because if you're a man, you suck it up. You stand up, stand tall, and you just do your thing. You don't spark gossip. You don't go to Instagram. That is so beta coded. For my entire life, my parents have controlled narratives in the press about our family. The performative social media posts, family events, and inauthentic relationships have been a fixture of the life I was born into. Brother, you were massively privileged because of something that has 5 letters, one word of 5 letters. Brand. But no, not Russell Brand. I mean a brand. It's called a brand. Michael Jordan has a brand. Cristiano Ronaldo has a brand. Everybody has I have a brand. And we make sure that our brands resonate. That our brands are, go global. And the more our brand resonates, well, the more opportunities you have. Opportunities to travel, opportunities to meet interesting people, opportunities to marry daughters of billionaires. Yeah, that happens. Have you thought about that, man? I think that you did not think this through. I think that you are an ungrateful bitch. That's what you are, a whiny bitch, ungrateful. Recently, I have seen with my own eyes the lengths that they'll go through to place countless lies in the media, mostly at the expense of innocent people, to preserve their own facade. But I believe the truth always comes out. This is speaking like Megan. This is Megan. This is this guy. Again, literally. My parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped. My mom canceled making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour despite how excited she was to wear her design, forcing her to urgently find a new dress. That's not what we knew about this. That's not the story that we knew. Again, it's anyone's guess what was the real story about this. But again, this sounds so beta that it's easy to dismiss. I don't know. I have no horse in this race, by the way. Weeks before our big day, my parents repeatedly pressured and attempted to bribe me into signing away the rights to my name, which would have affected me, my wife, and our future children. What is your name? What is your name? What made have you made for yourself? You effing loser. You don't know how even to cook an egg. You have been through more professions, like I don't know, than Marco Rubio. You tried to be a photographer. You tried to be a chef or something like that. You tried to be a model. None of that stuck. You say that your name, your brand, you have nothing. All you have is because of your parents. That's the reality. Maybe you could have changed your last name and tried to go on your own. That would have been the right thing to do. But you don't get to complain after you get all the benefits of being the son of David and Victoria Beckham. Because again, that is, you are complaining in ways that I don't understand. I am pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that Nicola doesn't respect this guy. And Nicola also married this guy only because, you know it, I'm not going to say it, only because he was a Beckham. Yes, I'm not going to lie, that helps. That helps. I could change my name to Jesus Enrique Beckham to see what happens, maybe for a month or two, just to do the experiment. They were adamant to me signing before my wedding date before then the terms of the deal would be initiated. My holdout affected the payday, and they have never treated me the same since. During the wedding planning, my mom went so far as to call me evil because Nicola and I chose to include my nanny Sandra and Nicola's nanny at our table. Boy, you should have written a Hallmark Channel movie with this. And you could have got some nice money with that. Maybe you can establish yourself as a director of, I don't know, sassy stories, because you're very good at it. Because they both didn't have their husbands. Both of our parents had their own tables equally adjacent to ours. The night before our wedding, members of my family told me that Nicola was not blood and not family. Since the moment I started standing up for myself with my family, I've received endless attacks from my parents, both privately and publicly, that were sent to the press on their orders. Even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media. I don't know, have you seen those attacks? I didn't see those attacks. Maybe those attacks exist, but I did not get to see them. Are those attacks in the room with us right now? I don't know. I didn't see them. Before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this last summer. But this is what I don't understand. You want to go on your own. You claim that you're standing on your own, you're free at last, and you're complaining that your brothers blocked you on where? On Instagram? On the WhatsApp chat group? You're happy with your life and you're complaining about being blocked? How does that work? I don't get it. My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which had been planned weeks in advance, to a romantic love song. I'm not going to rain on anyone's parade, but thanks to Royal Sage, the first dance with his wife was not stolen. He was lying. You can see the couple's first dance, and yeah, this is absolutely the dude with Nicola. I don't see Victoria anywhere hijacking anything, so it sounds like an exaggeration on his part. In front of our 500 wedding guests, Mark Anthony called me to the stage where in the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead my mom was waiting to dance with me instead. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone. The memes. The memes. I didn't have time to paste any memes. You can imagine what dance inappropriately. This is baffling. This is baffling of this child, because this is a boy, this is a child, this is not a man complaining this way on Instagram. This is as pathetic as it gets. He's looking for Oprah. Oprah is calling him. Oprah is dialing right now. I need to do an interview with these two guys. But I bet that the one who is going to speak the most is Nicole in that interview. Don't tell me how I know. I don't know, but I know. You know that. You know how that works. I've never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated in my entire life. And that is a stretch, being you. We wanted to renew our vows so we could create new memories of our wedding day that bring us joy and happiness, not anxiety and embarrassment. I don't have that meme, but that's that meme of this black dude saying, "Why are you gay? Why are you gay?" That's the meme that we need to insert. I need a button to have those memes pop up on my show. I'm working on it. I will have a button just "Why are you gay?" My wife has been consistently disrespected by my family, no matter how hard we've tried to come together as one. My mom has repeatedly invited women from my past into our lives in ways that were clearly intended to make us both uncomfortable. Why? And how did Victoria send those women by mail to your doorstep? I don't know how that works. I don't know. Maybe this is like a Mexican soap opera thing, that you're having a barbecue in the family and all of a sudden one of your ex-girlfriend shows up. You have this big zoom on your ex-girlfriend's face, zoom on your face, zoom on Nicola's face, zoom on Victoria's face, zoom on David, and David is cooking the hamburgers and he drops the hamburger in slow motion and falls, or the beer smashes against the ground in slow motion. That's what you're saying? We could write a novella here. We could write a telenovela here. I'm down for it. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do it. This is perfect. This is amazing. Despite this, we still traveled to London to my dad's birthday, and we were rejected for a week as we waited in our hotel room trying to plan quality time with him. He refused all of our attempts unless it was at his big birthday party with 100 guests and cameras at every corner. When he finally agreed to see me, it was under the condition that Nicola wasn't invited. It was a slap in the face. Mexican soap opera stuff. Later, when my family traveled to LA, they refused to see me at all. My family values public promotion and endorsement above all else. Brand Beckham comes first. Family love is decided by how much you post on social media, or how quickly you drop everything to show up and post for a family photo op. I mean, that is a possibility. There are people that work that way. I wouldn't be surprised that Brand Beckham works like I'm not going to put my hands on the fire for anybody. That could be a thing. But if you know that that's going on with your family, you simply put distance with them, not begin accusing them of something. You just live your life in peace. You try to find your own calling, whatever it is, if there is one. And you have, I'm going to say it, you have quite a lot of opportunities being married to, the heir of a billionaire, you have a billionaire father-in-law. I'm not going to be tired of repeating that. You have the last name, you have the money. I don't know what you're complaining about. Why are you complaining? Even if it's at the expense of our professional obligations. We've gone out of our way for years to show up and support every fashion show, every party, every press activity to show our perfect family. But the one time my wife asked for my mom's support to save displaced dogs during the LA fires, my mom refused. What? What the avocado toast folk? This deserves a Liverpool accent. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? My Liverpool accent is very bad. Please, I apologize for anyone from Liverpool. What the fuck is this? But the one time my wife asked for my mom's support to save displaced dogs during the LA fires, my mom refused. What? What? Yes. This is an actual thing. This is an actual thing. What? I hadn't read this thing. I saw the wall of text. I'm gonna read that live. I'm gonna react to that live. What the fuck? The narrative that my wife controls me is completely backwards. He controls his wife, allegedly. I have been controlled by my parents for most of my life. I am not controlled by my wife. I'm being controlled by my parents. I grew up with overwhelming anxiety. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I have to look for that. I apologize. This is gonna be longer than usual. I have to look for it. This deserves a few seconds, just a few seconds, out of the time of this section that shouldn't be this long, but I absolutely needed to. Maybe you don't know, you're not aware of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. This is the actual message for Brooklyn Beckham. Yeah, this. What? Lack of oxygen during birth. Fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't know if Victoria took enough folic acid. She should have taken more folic acid. That is for sure. For sure. For the first time in my life since stepping away from my family, that anxiety has disappeared. Then why are you complaining? I wake up every morning grateful for the life I chose and have found peace and relief. I can imagine him, drinking his coffee in his, bedroom or whatever. My wife and I, that sounds absolutely like Harry, do not want a life shaped by image, press, or manipulation. I could read this in Harry's voice. My wife and I do not want a life shaped by image, press, or manipulation. All we want peace, privacy, and happiness for us and our future family. This is Prince Harry 2.0. This is Spare Part 2. This is absolutely indistinguishable from Prince Harry. I don't know how that works. I don't know. This is baffling to see. I have a lot more content. This is so hot. This is so hot. I have to mention, by the way, that Dan Wooten has an interesting take on this. Big shout out to Dan Wooten. I remember that when I had that interview with him, had a lot of fun. Dan Wooten says, I reported on David and Victoria Beckham for years. People might not like this, but everything Brooklyn Beckham just revealed is legit. He has just exploded brand Beckham in one Instagram post. I recommend you read it all before casting judgment. Again, the brand Beckham thing, I wouldn't deny it exists. It is obvious that it exists. That's the reason why Victoria Beckham and David Beckham, on their own and together, are a powerhouse. As a little powerhouse. That's nothing. That is not by accident. That is an actual thing. So Brand Beckham does exist. Let's say my observation would be the way that he's exposing it, Brooklyn Beckham is exposing it, is maybe not the best way to do it. And it sounds like, yeah, he is complaining about stuff. David Beckham ignores questions about his son Brooklyn following his statement renouncing his parents yesterday.
But I also want to bring you this. This is David Beckham, whose son Brooklyn's been speaking out about an alleged family rift. Paul Kelso's in Davos and caught up with David Beckham.
David, do you have a message for Brooklyn this morning?
No message for Brooklyn, apparently.
David, you disappointed family business is being aired in public?
No, it's family business. It should not be aired in public. But it seems that David says something. There's this here. David Beckham speaks out after his son Brooklyn.
They make mistakes. Children are allowed to make mistakes. That's how they learn. So that's what I try to teach my kids. But you have to sometimes let them make those mistakes as well.
He's making mistakes. Well, yes, I don't know if this is actually related to what Brooklyn said, but again, I guess it is. As I'm telling you, I don't know what to think. What I do know is that whining in public is pathetic. That is hands down. There's no way around that. Christine Frueba, Brooklyn Markle more like. Little Beckham boy is a spoiled, married adult living in America, never worked to pay a day's rent in his life. He married money and now whines like a baby, defaming his parents on social media. And Susie Carey to Dan Wooden, you want us to feel sorry for privileged rich kids' problems. No, Dan, many of us came up truly adverse and poor situations, and we don't slag our family off as part of publicity drive that seems driven by his wife. When did I say you should feel sorry for Brooklyn Beckham? Technically, Dan Wooten did not say that. He did not say you should feel sorry for him. He just said that that's how the PR Beckham brand works. Which, again, I am not surprised. That's brand Beckham is a thing. Publicity on family matters doesn't end well, says So Happy. So, again, there's a lot of takes. Last clip I'm going to show about this is this page 6. A resurfaced clip shows the uncomfortable moment Brooklyn Beckham pulls wife Nicola Peltz into the family group shot at the premiere of their Netflix docuseries. And yeah, it's the body language. We could do a body language analysis of this. And Brooklyn's pulling Nicola and trying to tell Victoria, he touches his mom, look who's here. It's Nicola, look at her. Mom. And Victoria's saying like, maybe if I don't move, they will disappear. Maybe they go away. Nicola doesn't look happy either. And you see that Victoria even turns away even more from them. Even more. No, I don't have anything to do with you. No, go away. Go away. Maybe she acknowledges them at some point. No. No acknowledgement. Oh my God. And you know that's you know I always said that Nicola has that face. That face. I don't remember how I defined that face, but she's always that like I have I don't want to say the expression. I'm gonna be a gentleman. I'm not gonna see the expression, but I'm pretty sure that you know what the expression is, because in English and in Venezuelan Spanish it's very similar. It has to do with farts. Okay, it's like the expression of someone who doesn't smell their own farts or something. I don't remember the exact expression, but you know what expression I'm talking about. She's got that face. And Victoria was not having it, and Brooklyn made a fool of himself. Also, resting bitch face could be. Yeah, because why not? Absolutely, that could be it. Another definition. And no, Victoria at no point acknowledged their existence. That is tough. I mean, that is tough, but that is reality, and that venting on Instagram. You don't vent on Instagram, period. But again, I would like to know what do you think about this drama in the comments, and I'm paying attention to your comments. Remember, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss.